The 5 highest-grossing movies of all time. There's nothing quite like to see a movie in theaters. They can transport us to an infinite amount of universes and can make us laugh, cry, and cheer as we have never before with our loved ones and strangers alike. However, some rise above the rest and become special cultural moments that draw millions and millions of people from all backgrounds and have those same people cancel all their other plans to grab their popcorn and find a seat no matter what. These mega blockbusters sell a mind-boggling amount of tickets, and by looking at the list, you can start to see some patterns as to what it takes to be a member of this exclusive club. 5. Star Wars, Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Worldwide, $2.07 billion. Domestic, $936.66 million. Say what you will about how Star Wars' sequel trilogy ended. The news and arrival of Star Wars, Episode 7, The Force Awakens was a big deal. Not only was it the first film in the franchise since Revenge of the Sith and the controversial prequel trilogy, but it was also the first film and major project following the Walt Disney Company's acquisition of Lucasfilm. The Force Awakens would pave a new path forward in that galaxy far, far away without George Lucas, and would aim to honor the past while also introducing the future of what Star Wars would become. That promise translated to massive ticket sales reaching over $2 billion on a budget of roughly $300 million to $450 million as one of the most expensive movies ever made. The Force Awakens would mark the height of Star Wars box office prowess, and The Last Jedi's $1.03 billion, and The Rise of Skywalker's $1.07 billion, while still impressive when compared to other films, just couldn't quite match it. 4. Titanic. Worldwide, $2.26 billion. Domestic, $674.29 million. James Cameron isn't content with having just 2 movies in the top 5 highest-grossing films of all time. No, he had to go ahead and have a third with his Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet-led tragic retelling of Titanic's doomed voyage across the sea. 1998's Titanic was the first film to ever cross $1 billion worldwide and was actually the highest-grossing film of all time until Cameron's Avatar stormed onto the scene in 2009. In 2012, Titanic sailed back into theaters for a 3D re-release and became just the second film to ever earn $2 billion after Avatar. 3. Avatar, The Way of Water. Worldwide, $2.30 billion. Domestic, $684.07 million. The sequel to 2009's Avatar was originally aiming to be released in 2014, but as we all know, it didn't make its way to theaters until the end of 2022. It started to feel like these so-called Avatar sequels may never happen with delay after delay. But Avatar, The Way of Water landed with such a resounding slam that it reminded us all to never underestimate James Cameron and the power of Pandora. Sure, it didn't quite soar to the heights of the original Avatar, but $2.31 billion in global box office revenue isn't the worst consolation prize. Avatar, The Way of Water had an estimated budget of $350 million to $460 million, and even James Cameron said the film would need to be the 3rd or 4th highest-grossing film of all time to turn a profit. As you can see here, it did. 2. Avengers, Endgame. Worldwide, $2.70 billion. Domestic, $858.37 million. The only film to ever come close to toppling the behemoth known as Avatar was Avengers. Endgame, the culmination of the almost 21-year journey known as the Infinity Saga that began with 2008's Iron Man and was built up with stories from 21 movies before it. Fans had to wait a whole year to see what the true effects of Thanos' snap would be, and the excitement was unlike anything seen before. While it doesn't seem as much when you compare it to its box office earnings, Avengers Endgame was one of the most expensive films ever made with a reported budget of around $356 million to $400 million. 1. Avatar, worldwide, $2.90 billion, domestic, $785.22 million. When Avatar arrived in theaters back in 2009, it made a powerful statement with its groundbreaking visual effects and motion capture, stunning 3D technology, and the introduction of a world in Pandora that would spawn its own section of Disney World, and a plan for at least 4 sequels. Moviegoers couldn't get enough of the film, and the ticket sales rushed in from the start and didn't stop until it nearly reached $3 billion off a roughly $237 billion budget. Even after almost 14 years, Avatar's reign atop the highest-grossing films of all time list has rarely been contested.